And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, and I'm with my buddy and pal, partner in crime, Mr. Chris Edwards.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am.
Yes, we know. So for those that don't know, if you didn't see Ron's post on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram last night, you're in for a treat today because Ron was riled up last night. And I mean, deservedly so.
I was riled up when I saw that Chuck Schumer said, we are going to stand with this vote and be on the side of the vote to vote with this Republican one-sided bill. I was pissed. I lost my marbles. I even went on to I went on to TikTok for the first time live. I was on TikTok live last night. I couldn't even believe I was like, where do I go? Where do I disperse this energy?
I mean, you know, I think you were deservedly pissed off like a lot of people. You know, this was our one card to play.
It's the only card.
Yeah, and it's not even the fact that you want to shut this government down, but it's justified in taking a stand because of what is actually going on right now. I mean, shutting the government down right now, the government's already shut down. I mean, most of the employees have been fired or let go. I mean, you're running on a bare bones skeleton crew right now.
It's ridiculous. Most of the government, a lot of the government is shut down because people are unemployed. People have been let go. People are trying to figure out how they want to live. And they're worried about, Chuck Schumer is worried about the government being shut down. I mean, and then also worried about Trump doing what he wants to do and doing anything he wants to do. He's already doing what he wants to do.
He's doing it. And
what the hell?
I think that is the problem of them not acknowledging that's exactly what's going on. I mean, and this goes to, all right, maybe we need term limits because I don't think you're seeing clearly. You're thinking that we're still in a government that of past days gone by. We are not. This is not your traditional democracy that's being practiced out there in Washington and across the United States. I think like AOC, you know, you need somebody like that.
And she says she's going to run against him. I hope she does. Because people are saying we want AOC because again, we need a new generation. Even Hakeem, I love him. Like I said, he was my congressperson for years.
Way too passive.
But he's too passive and the thing about it, he is from the streets. He knows how to be street. He knows how to be hood, but he doesn't know how to transfer it into government because he's like Obama. We don't want to be the angry black men.
So
no, be angry.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's justified. And this kind of goes to so yesterday after the show, you know, you, myself, and Gwendolyn, we were talking for a little bit, you know, post-show. And what was one of the names that I put out there that should be running for higher office?
Yes, you did.
AOC.
You said it.
And, you know, the question came up, you know, does she have enough experience? Does she have what it takes to step up to be in a leadership role? And I think she's more than qualified.
More than qualified.
She shows that she is for the people. That's the one thing.
She is for the people.
More than anything else, she is for the people. And when you have like these Fox commentators making jokes that, oh yeah, you were in a bar, not getting a drink, but serving drinks, that just shows you how uninformed and how out of touch you are. Everyone has had a past and jobs that they did, and her being a bartender is nothing to be ashamed about. We all have done jobs that, you know, it's a job. It's a living, a way to make a living, and there's nothing wrong with it. She wasn't selling drugs on the street corner. She wasn't selling her body or doing whatever. And not to say there's anything wrong with any, you know, well, certain things are wrong. Certain things wrong with, but you know, she had a legitimate job, and now she is working for the people, and she's for the people. So, you know, AOC, I don't see anything wrong with her running for higher office. I think that people
I say run for the Senate. Go for it. Go for it, girl.
fights for people.
She fights. Look, she's been downtown Manhattan for the last couple of weeks, having meetings there, having meetings in the Bronx, having meetings all over the place. Let me tell you, she is out there. That week it was freezing cold in New York. It was cold as it felt like it was cold as Alaska, and it was cold. And she was out there with hundreds of people explaining what was going on in this government and breaking it down in the cold.
Jazzy made a comment that we need more AOCs and Jasmine, and I think she is another one. You know, and here it is again. You know, it's falling to Black women to save us. I mean, there are like two really strong people in Congress right now that are fighting for the people. And the thing about it is, they're not just fighting for people that look.
Miss Presley from Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, but they're not just fighting for people that look like them, skin color wise, or are women. They're fighting for everyone. You know, I love listening to Jasmine when she talks, because, you know, yes, she's not going to put up with your bullshit, and you're not going to come for her and her Blackness, but she's also fighting for all the people in her district, not just the people that look like her.
Jazzy says, I will say this. Everyone plays their role. We need the AOCs and the Jeffries, but AOC and the Jasmines of the world need to be the face of the party. They know how to connect to the people. I am 100% agreement of that. I'm going to give you guys a clip so you can see. And then again, today's our Focus Friday, so we're focusing on things that matter. So this is what matters. And then we'll also have a couple of Instagram accounts that you need to probably follow. I would suggest that you follow and put them in your arsenal, and in the time period that we are in. Okay, so let's go to the videotape, because this is Chuck Schumer from the his explanation of why he did what he did, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, here we go.
Chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass.
Our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, does not mince words. That's what I hope you appreciate about this network. We don't mince words. We tell you how we feel. Filipkowski writes, when you are so afraid of Trump calling you shut down Schumer that you willingly accept surrender Schumer as your legacy. Filipkowski goes, Rand effing Paul is voting against this damn CR. But look, I think for Chuck Schumer, he feels sometimes that it's just business as usual and that this is all, you know, a game and politics and da-da-da-da-da. Remember back in October where Trump attended that Catholic charity event? Trump, the sexual abuser, at a Catholic charity event, and people like were normalizing them and like cracking jokes. Remember this moment with Schumer right here? Play this clip. Now, the House Judiciary GOP account is mocking Schumer.
Again, there's the point. That's the problem. Is like this is what upsets people, is that when you see everyone these people are saying Trump is dangerous. Trump is dangerous. Trump is he's going to destroy the country. Trump is. And then you got Obama kicking it with him at the funeral, or you have Schumer going to the side. These people he needs to be shunned. No one should be talking to this. If you are on the opposite side of this dude, you should not be talking to him. There's no being polite. There's no polite society in America any longer. No politeness. This guy is a criminal.
But it's not even about being polite or being respectful of someone. Like, one, and I'm going to continue to say this, he's a convicted felon. That's one. And then two, he has shown us who he is as a person. Because I don't want to even dignify him by saying he's a human being, because human beings have some sense of decency, and this man has no decency. You know, I don't get it. Like, if I say I don't like you, I don't care what it is that we have to do. We can work in a space where I can be in the same room with you, but I do not have to talk to you. If I've publicly said, me and you are not friends, I don't like you, I think you're the Antichrist, I'm not going to go there and be like, oh, okay, so what's up? How you doing? No. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It sends mixed signals. And then why should people trust you when your actions don't reflect your words? You know, a man is only worth what he says, his word. And when people can't trust your word, why should they trust you?
You know, we were great. When we were kids, they said, word is bond. Word is
yeah.
bond. You are your word. You cannot, man. I mean, this is the problem. But I am glad, because guess what? I don't think Schumer may vote, but I don't think the other Democrats. There's an overwhelming Democratic movement that says they do not want to vote for this.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they need 7, if I'm correct, 7 people to come to the other side.
I think 8. Well, they need 8 because
seven additional
Paul is not voting as one of the Republicans.
Right. But you need 7 additional, including Schumer, to vote to approve this CR. And but what Schumer did was give other people that might have been on the fence or might have said in public that, oh, they're not going to vote for this, but now gives them leeway to say, okay, I'm going to side with our leader Schumer and vote, with him. So I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, I guess, tonight, because tonight is the vote, if I remember correctly, right?
I think it's tonight. I think because today's the dead. Well, today it's going to be because today's the deadline for the shutdown.
Yeah.
So it has to be midnight tonight is the deadline for the shutdown.
So we'll see what happens. And you know what I mean, him coming out and saying this, I don't put it past them that they're going to vote with the Republicans and they're going to pass this CR. And I mean, all this does really kick it down the road for what is it, another month or 3 months?
I do believe 3 months.
Okay. So we'll be back here again. And then, to be honest with you, in 3 months, the damage of what Trump will be able to do is that much worse.
It's, way worse. Anyway, here's AOC. I'm going to bring up AOC, and I'm going to bring also Elise on. And here's AOC sharing her thoughts here. And I mean, I love me some AOC. I love her. Here we go. AOC
is a united Senate Democratic caucus that can stand up for this country and not vote for cloture and not vote for this bill. And I think that the strength that we have is in this moment. Reconciliation and all of these, Republicans do not need Democratic votes for that. They need it for this. And so the strength of our leadership in this moment is going to demonstrate the strength of our caucus. And I cannot urge enough.
Did you just hear what she just said? This is the moment. This is where they need Democratic votes. The other stuff they can pass, but they can't pass this without the Democrats. This is when you use your leverage. This is when you use your leverage. You have a cannon. Take the cannon out and use it. You have the leverage. Here she goes.
How bad of an idea it is to empower and enable Donald Trump and Elon Musk in this moment. It is dangerous and it is reckless.
Well, here's what AOC said as well. Let's play it.
And on top of that, I also maintain the position that government officials and public servants should not be hiding from the public the way that Republicans are hiding and being instructed to not host town halls right now because of the outrage among the American public around their attempts to cut Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare.
And here's also what she said. Let's play it.
Chuck Schumer, I guess the Senate Democratic leader, your senator, said at this meeting that he is going to vote for cloture. He is going to vote to allow there to be a simple majority vote. You think that's wrong?
I believe that's a tremendous mistake. Yes.
Why?
I think, well, first and foremost, the American people, if anyone has held a town hall or has seen what has been happening in town halls, American people, whether they are Republicans, independents, Democrats, are up in arms about Elon Musk and the actual gutting of federal agencies across the board. This continuing resolution codifies much of this chaos that Elon Musk is wreaking havoc on the federal government. It codifies many of the.
Did you just hear what she just said? It is codifying. It is giving them more strength to do what they're doing. Why would you vote for this? Why? Shut the country down. People will respect you for it. All those Republicans that are at the town hall, they will respect you for it. They will say, yes, they are for the people. The Democrats are finally coming back for the people. Come on, Democrats. Chuck Schumer, I was so, I'm still angry. I'm still boiling. I was so angry last night. I just kept, like I said, I had to go to TikTok and just, I was livid. Livid. Anyway, one more and then we got
those changes. It sacrifices and completely eliminates congressional authority in order to review these impulsive Trump tariffs that he's switching on and off. And on top of that, for folks who are concerned about effectiveness in government, this Republican extreme spending bill removes all of the guardrails and all of the accountability measures to ensure that money is being spent in the way that Congress has directed for it to be spent. This turns the federal government into a slush fund for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. It sacrifices congressional authority, and it is deeply partisan. And so to me, it is almost unthinkable why Senate Democrats would vote to hand the few pieces of leverage that we have away for free when we've been sent here to protect Social Security, protect Medicaid, and protect Medicare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why are the Democrats? Well, no, again, and I'm not going to say all the Democrats because there's a lot of Democrats that don't want this. Why are the old Democrats, the old guard, like Schumer, so what's the word for it? I mean, it's beyond
misguided,
weak. Misguided, beguiled, stupid, just stupid.
Out of touch.
So out of touch. Hi, Gwendolyn.
Poor Ron, I get it, Ron.
Listen, Elise, take it away. Let's give Ron a minute to rest and recuperate.
I saw his clip last night, his video. Because I went live for a few minutes last night to do my little thing. And to talk to people and tell them what number to call. The call this morning, they
I saw your post, yes.
Yeah, the call this morning. I woke up calling Schumer's office because they were closed. And so I called directly to his office. So you know that the 202-224-3132 is the general Senate line. And you can ask to speak to any senator. But each one of the senators have direct lines to their offices. Now everything is being recorded this morning. Every now and then you get an answer, right?
Yes.
So, and I think.
What's the number again? What's the number?
The general number is 202.
202.
224.
224.
3121.
She got it memorized.
Yes.
These don't play. She doesn't play.
Because we need to, and you can go and ask for any representative. Because it's a general line, you can ask for anyone. And with DC, in particular, that they want to cut $1 billion, but the $1 billion is not federal money; it's DC money. So that's totally unacceptable. All of this is unacceptable because of all of the things that they want to cut that will impact people, impact children, impact people. All of it is ridiculous. And for Schumer to come out and say, well, I'm going to vote for this. And I was like, what are we talking about? Why are we giving up control? This is when you have power. When Democrats have the ultimate negotiating power because they need 60 votes to
Yes.
get this across the line. That means
Yes.
they need 8 Democrats and
Yes.
8 Democratic senators to vote with them to get this across the line. And so they have the leverage because
They have it.
it can't move any further. This CR, this continuing resolution can't go any further without the Senate.
Exactly.
And the Democrat has the power. They need to
Yes.
now step up and use their power. Schumer needs to stop being such a coward and bending over for Elon Musk and the president, the current president. That he needs to stop doing that and stop standing out there and saying it in public. I really appreciated listening to AOC's comments last night, because I heard them last night, and the fact that the reporter was trying to bait her.
Yes.
He was trying to get her to specifically say something negative about Schumer himself.
Yes.
She ended up saying what should be happening and staying focused. That's what they all have to do. They have to not let them get into this back and forth with each other, but to stay focused on the point. She stayed on point.
Yes.
This is why we're here.
Stay on
What
point.
the American people deserve, and it, to heck with him. They're going to deal with him in their own way, and the people of New York will deal with it in their own way, because that's their representative. And what DC did, because now my husband was just sharing with me, now Schumer is like, well, we're going to talk to him about taking DC out of there because the Republicans made a mistake. Yeah, you made a mistake, and our children showed up down there yesterday.
There you go.
They had children in DC go down to the Capitol yesterday with their signs saying, please save our schools, leave our city alone. They went down there. And so now he's like, oh, they made a mistake. Now, all of this is a mistake.
It's a mistake.
And
the thing is, again,
and it's a sellout.
They have the ability, Elise, like they have the ability to tell the Republicans, go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely.
You are not going to get this bill passed without us. We have say. We still represent part of this country. You're not overrunning us. We just go back, and we will take as long as it takes you to get this right.
And that's what they have to do. They have to put this on the Republicans.
Yes, it's the Republicans.
At their feet, that if it closes down, it's going to be on you.
Yes.
It's going to be on you because you're unwilling to even negotiate. You didn't even sit in a room with us.
They didn't even sit in the room, didn't ask a question.
That part.
Right. And so I tell you, they're not going to, if it closes down, which right now it should, because they don't have anything decent on the table. It should close down. It's not going to be closed down that long because the Republican Party knows they cannot risk that.
Yes,
and
right.
it's not going to stop anything. Like Schumer saying, "Oh, if it closes down, he'll furlough all these people." Well, he's furloughing thousands of people now. 20,000
already.
20,000 people got the right to get their jobs back yesterday. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show this video, and then we're going to go through the conversation with the community. This one, and this is, I was sitting on my edge of my bed with Chris Hayes yesterday as he's interviewing Chuck, and I sat there and said, I mean, I'm answering, I'm saying the thing before even Hayes gets to say it, because it doesn't make any freaking sense. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, let me calm down. Calm down, Ron. Calm down. Woo! These people are crazy. Here we go.
In the Senate, where you need a filibuster-proof majority on a cloture vote.
Hey guys, Toby Mathis here.
I hate those commercials.
How do I make my personal assets?
Here we go.
There you go.
That there's essentially an unconstitutional assault on the government right now. And I think you would agree with that,
There
right?
is.
An assault on the constitutional
These guys are the worst, and we got to fight them every step of the way.
But
as
you're
we
not
say
fighting.
in Brooklyn, Chris,
they're
every
saying you're not
step of the
fighting.
way.
But look, Russ Vought
We
is
are
already
fighting.
telling people, but he's telling people on the floor, we are not even going to listen to this CR. This is a piece of paper that we will impound and rip up the moment it's passed. If that's the case, how is voting for cloture not essentially an imprimatur on the very same assault on the constitutional order?
They're already, even without this CR, they're already doing it.
Right.
Okay. They did it to the Department of Education. But I can tell you, I've been through shutdowns before. It's not that this CR is good. It's not that voting for it is good. It's horrible. but the alternative is worse.
Now, here's what Senator Bernie Sanders said, who has been meeting the moment. Let's play this clip.
That assumes that millions of people are not standing up and saying, you know what? We're a democracy, not an authoritarian society. Don't undo the Constitution of the United States. You're not going to throw 83,000 workers off the Veterans Administration. You're not going to cut the Social Security staff so that elderly people will die while they're waiting to get the benefits that they paid into. You're not going to take food away from hungry kids. If you do nothing, you sit back and you say it is going to be terrible. And that's right. A shutdown will be terrible. But our job is to put the onus on the Republican president, the Republican House, the Republican Senate, the people who control the government. They are responsible. They've acted in an undemocratic, unprecedented, unilateral way. They've given us an offer, take it or leave it. That ain't the way democracy works.
Here's what Ambassador Susan Rice had to say. She goes, every Senate Democrat should vote no on cloture and no on the CR. No self-respecting Democratic lawmaker who takes his or her responsibility to their constituents and the Constitution seriously can vote for this despicable Trump-Musk power grab CR. Why should Dems roll over and play dead when they were completely cut out and presented with a shit sandwich? Why give Trump a bipartisan imprimatur to gut the government? What the F, Schumer? Grow a spine and grow a spine quickly. That's our message to you as well from the MeidasTouch Network. Grow a spine, vote against cloture, vote against the CR. The American people are with you. And how do we know that? Because across the country, people in red areas, blue areas, purple areas are rising up at this hostile government take.
There you go. There you go. It's that simple. You know, we always talk about people reading the room. Read the country. Read the country. Why aren't they reading why isn't he reading the country? But again, Schumer is stuck in another time.
Those days are long gone.
I've been through government shutdowns before.
See, this is not that.
Yeah, and so to make it not like, they always say, you know, we always take it to what people look like.
Yes.
So some people in their position and what they look like don't pay the same price.
Yes.
His income comes from us. The federal government, the federal taxpayers pay these people.
Yes.
He is sitting there going, oh, I have my money. I'm comfortable. I've gained some. I've been here long enough to gain some wealth off of all of this. So his discomfort is not what he's thinking about. His whole thing is, there's no place for what they call decorum anymore. Right now it's about let's fight. Let's get something done. Let's get hold and come together. That's the problem with Democrats like Schumer.
Yes.
You don't understand unity. And you're not getting anything. What are you getting for yourself? Like, is this a selfish move? What is this about? People are like, oh, maybe they have something up there. Say, no, this is a stupid move. This is giving up your power. Your
only power. You don't got too much.
Right. You don't have much power. Most of everything else is a simple majority.
Yes.
This takes the super majority. They have to have 60 votes. You have the ultimate power. Anytime Democrats come across anything where they have to have 60 votes in that Senate, they need to leverage their power and stop doing this craziness. And there's nothing he can say to justify this. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing to explain this. And any any Democrats that go along with this are insane. And then people should also, you can call any representative, Republicans as well, whoever's out there. Susan Collins comes up in 2026. She needs to go too. She needs to find out which ones are up in 2026 and
I said Letterman needs to go. Letterman's becoming more he's becoming more Republican. Letterman.
If he's up in 2026, it's time for a change.
Letterman.
I think someone said it earlier. I think Gwendolyn. It's time for Democrats to have a new guard. Right now, these people like Schumer, they're not thinking about anyone else. They're not thinking about what's best for the people. This is a total sellout. I don't know what they whispered in his ear, but it's a total sellout. And Ron, I sent you an email. DC, the people in DC, like we have an organization here that was started years ago around high schools. And it's called SHAPE. the the Senior High Alliance of Parents and Teachers in Education. And I was in their original group when it started years and years ago. This was before I taught. And they put together a list of senators who might need to have a little more pressure exerted on them. So I sent you that list as well. I couldn't, it was so many, it was too long to put in the chat because I tried to copy it and put it in.
We'll put it in the description on this video.
If you can take it and paste it up there, and people, like, if you could cut it and paste it and put it so people can see the names, they can at least see the names and know who to ask for, because it's from representatives from various states here, but everyone should be contacting their Democratic senator. Everyone needs to be on the phone. Let the line be so busy it shuts down. Whatever it is,
yes,
them to know that this is not acceptable. Especially Chuck Schumer. Get him. Let me give you all. Look, I have his direct line too. Let
me see.
That one I do have to look up because I didn't use it as much.
So this is good. I have this, what you have here. I'm gonna put this on a copy. Okay, we'll take care of that. But also, let's see what everyone's saying. I know we haven't got the group into.
Ron, let me give you his direct line. Schumer's direct line is 202.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Gotta go to the banners. Hold on a second, and we'll put that in there. Where's that? 202? Oh, 202.
No, 202.
202.
224.
224.
65.
6542. And this is Schumer's.
Yes, that's his direct line that goes straight to his office.
And that way people can call directly.
Yeah, leave a message. Don't hang up. Leave a message, because he needs to receive all the messages, or his staff, whoever's listening to them, need to receive all the messages.
Unreal.
Also incumbent upon us to put on as much pressure as we can.
You have to. You have to. It's important.
Of course, in mine, I told him, I said, I will come district in your area and work with them to get you out.
Look, I was like, you got to go now. You got to go. You cannot represent New York. You cannot represent New York any longer. There's the number, Senator Schumer, 202-224-6542. Okay, so let's see what let's see what our community is saying, because I know you guys have been chatting it up.
Oh, they're fired up. They're fired up today. It's a continuation of yesterday. Where is Gwendolyn, by the way?
I don't know where our Gwendolyn is. She may be teaching.
She's in the chat.
I know she's in the chat, but she may be teaching today. So we got Lisa starts with her good morning, and then she says, so pissed at Schumer. D. Saver says, keeping the government open is so implicable to this current administration. Schumer needs to go. Jazzy says, Chuck is out of touch. The fact that he said none of the GOP worked with him and then turned around and tried to justify voting for it makes no sense. And can I add on top of that? The night before, he was saying he was not for it and he wasn't going to vote for it. What happened in 24 hours?
A call from
somebody gave him a call
from Satan.
Yeah.
Who did it this week? Satan. Remember,
I mean,
SNL?
like, what?
SNL?
So what do people have on other people, like, that they're able to switch these votes like this? Like, something is going on.
Disava says, Ron Foster, I don't think Obama was kicking it at the funeral, but I do understand.
Yeah, I'm not speaking to you at anybody's funeral. I don't care who it is.
I ain't talking to. If someone's as bad as Trump, I'm not even, just like the Bushes did. They just crossed over and walked right past him to even look at him. That's
why
how
we
you
have
do
backs.
it.
Look, that's why we have backs.
That's right. That's why we have backs.
Turn them.
See, Gwendolyn's in the building somewhere. She says, "Good morning, y'all." Jazzy says that.
She's not feeling well.
I still say word is bond. And then DeSava says Trump has already been vile, harmful, and hurtful to democracy. Lisa says, I live at the funeral when Kamala turned around and looked at Obama like, what? Yeah, I get it. Yes, that was the look I gave. Love, we got you. They shouldn't vote they shouldn't vote it, right? They should not, says Jazzy. Lisa says, do you think maybe Schumer will switch back seeing all the outrage? He better. Jazzy says they should vote yes for it, period. Yes, we know that the government being shut down costs us money, and it does do more harm than good, but voting for something like this is completely ridiculous. And Jazzy says the ripple effect would cause so much damage. Yes. DeSava says historically, keeping the government open was a dispersant against them, showing to their constituents that they weren't working. But this is totally a different situation now. We're in a different world. AOC is so correct, says DeSava. DeSava says also, yes, indeed, Ron Foster. We have the leverage, and if we used it, we could gain ground. There you go. Lisa says they have something on Schumer. They have to. Because why would he do this? She says,
what did they promise him?
Well, we don't know.
Or that. But here's my thing. I mean, if the courts can fight back against Trump, why can't these Democrats in Congress? They are co-equal branches of government.
Your power. You are a co-equal branch of government.
Equal. One third.
Yes.
And I think with even the part when he talks about layoffs or the one thing about the courts is that people are taking all that to court.
Yeah, and they're winning.
People are winning.
Trump has not won one court case yet so far this year.
And also, if Canada can stand up to this guy, if Mexico can stand up to this guy, if Europe is standing up to this guy, what the hell is wrong with our democracy, our Democratic Party, that they can't stand up? Absolutely. I mean, think about that. Everybody is standing up to this person, this clown. And these Democrats are, the ones that are with Schumer are afraid.
Yeah. And the ones that, like those of you who are listening in here and you are from New York, which is where Schumer's from, call there and let them know you're a New Yorker. And you will be
I meant to call this morning.
Need to let him know. They need to put the pressure on from around the country, but also intense pressure from within that state needs to come. He needs to feel the brunt. He needs to know, you know what, you're old, and you're just too old at this point to even be rational.
Chris says, Ron, don't run your blood pressure out. Yes, I didn't take my medicine today. I'll be rolling out on the chair. Y'all be like, what's going on, Ron? The pressure has gone up. Thankfully, because after surgery, my pressure has gone back down. So hopefully I won't have to need any medication in a couple of months, hopefully. Anyway, back to the subject. Lisa says, and all the damn chanting he was doing, baloney. Good morning.
Wait, before you read anything, like that's the thing that I think that really hurts people the most. It's like when you've done all of this chanting and hollering and hooping about this person, and then you turn around and give him what he wants. It's like, what was it for? Now, why should we trust you moving forward with anything you say? You've lost all credibility.
Yeah. Jazzy says they are doing it because they are out of touch. Yes. And Lisa says, and unfortunately, Hakeem is one of them. Even though he's younger, I used to be for him, but now not so much. I'm with you, Lisa. Like I said, he was my congressman. He used to be right here in Fort Greene, Clinton Hill. He was our guy. I photographed him. I photographed some of the things he's done. I got beautiful photos of him. But you cannot. This is not the same world. We are not. Trump has changed the landscape of politics. Get with the program.
So here's the thing, like Jazzy and I talked about this yesterday a little bit. And I know her comment, she has a comment about that yesterday. So there's a place for the Hakeem Jeffries of the world. He's still holding strong. No, he's still holding strong on not voting for stuff. He's still holding strong. But then you got every group, and my son and I used to talk about this back in 2020. Every group has to have a bulldog.
Yes.
Every group has to have a bulldog.
Couple of them. And this one,
and so
you got pit bulls and everything else.
You have the Jasmine Crockett's, the AOCs, and every now and then they show Presley. And you have those people out. Those people have to be out there. And then you got to have you also have to have those who group has that. Every group has a role to play. Like we know that if I'm on here and Gwendolyn on it, we may be more irate somewhere, and we know that Gwendolyn gonna throw some words up in there.
That's right.
And all of us aren't.
Gwendolyn is our bulldog.
Yeah. Everybody's not going to do the same thing, right? So we have to know the roles, but you also he also had what we have to make sure that we hold him accountable is to make sure he stayed the course and that he votes for nothing that they put out there. He has to stay strong with that. I think most people, because of the way he sounds, I don't know if he can help how he sounds.
Nope.
But the point is, will he hold the line?
Yeah.
Will he lead the line to make sure that none of this stuff gets through? And keep telling the truth. You have to keep telling the truth. Everybody's not going to yell.
Yes,
and
right.
I know he pisses a lot of people off. I understand it. But we also have to understand that if I'm going in there, I'm going to let the one who looks like him open the door. Then I'm going to come up and slap everybody. He's going to get me in the door. He's going to get me in the door. But I'm going to rail hell once the door opens. And I know how it works because I used to testify before Congress. I used to send them my testimony and it was wonderful. They read that and they said, she's going to come in here and be this. And I would sit down and be just as wonderful as possible. And the National PTA would bring me in there. And when I sat down, it was some fires lit. And they were surprised. And I did not back down, nor did I let them say that my time ran out. My time runs out when I put the dot at the end of my last sentence, just like your people. And that's what you have to have people who do that. Everybody's not going to do that. But you can't have Schumers in there. You can't have them people that's going to sell you out. If Hakeem did a Schumer, then I'm going to tell them, y'all need to go in that caucus and vote him out so that he's no longer the leader of that place.
Yes, because I don't care. I mean, I love that he may be the first black speaker, but you know what? Not if it's going to cost us of the country. Anyway, G says, all of it is a mistake. Lisa says, right, everything since he has been in office is a mistake. And G says, shut it down. D Savage says, exactly. They don't sit in the room and are bragging about it. Lisa says, so what? Don't vote for it. He is pissing me off. You know who he is. And G says, this is why I don't. He said, I don't watch a lot of TV. I gotta protect my peace. And Jazz says this, and Bernie's the man. Bernie's going
around the country. All of them should be doing Bernie.
I just went because this was on the focus. One of the reasons why I'm sharing MeidasTouch today, because you see, I went through a lot of their footage today.
Yeah, I love this.
MeidasTouch has taken over the #1 slot online. They beat out Fox as #1 media. Now, Fox got upset, was angry, blowing up 2 days ago. And then what they ended up doing is putting out all this videos and all this old footage to try to gain their numbers back.
Oh, yeah.
However, MeidasTouch, with no stock board, no board members, no big money inputters, has now become the #1 because people want the truth.
Yes.
The truth. The truth. And if you're in the building, please hit the like so that we can get the algorithms going.
Independent media.
And MeidasTouch, if you want some good truth, you want some good information, check out the MeidasTouch. I will make sure the link is inside this description. MeidasTouch. The MeidasTouch is they're doing so many remarkable things, and you can see them also on Substack, which is another platform. You got YouTube, Substack, and Instagram. I do believe they're on TikTok as well. TikTok. They're everywhere.
They have a podcast.
Also podcasts, yes, on Apple Podcasts and also Spotify. So you see where I am a lot of times. Yeah. So I brought them up so you can see who they are.
And the reason I like MeidasTouch, Ron, is because unlike some people, they'll ask a question, but they don't let it dangle there. They don't let the person's response sit there if they didn't get to the point. they're gonna push and get to the point. And and that's what people need now. We don't need to have that vague question asked, and then your response is done, and there's no follow up with that. You have to keep doing that. See, Susan Rice. What about Susan Rice?
Yeah, Susan Rice. She said, "Grow a spine." Well said, right? Eva says. Jazzy says the fact that he doesn't get that is ridiculous. I mean, there are people protesting. There's people crying out for town halls. There was one guy that just got arrested yesterday.
Yes,
they shipped him out in North Carolina in Asheville because he was saying, "I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. You cannot treat me this way."
Right.
Yeah.
You can't treat me and you can't treat us.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. If last night was any indication of the uproar of people and their dismay and dislike of Schumer, if he didn't get that, he really needs to just step down, because people, I mean, Ron, you were irate, and a lot of people were irate last night. Like, this was like the #1 thing trending, you know, on Blue Sky last night. That's all I saw when I went on there. Like,
all night.
Schumer, like clips of Schumer even talking, like, what is he talking about? Like, I cannot believe he just sold us out. It's like the ultimate betrayal.
Yes. And the word salad, because he couldn't even explain himself to Chris Hayes. He could not explain himself with legitimate points.
There's no explanation. So
there was no explanation.
Lisa's question. So Lisa is supposed to work that they work on them together. However, the Republican worked on it by them alone. They didn't include Democrats in the conversation. They brought it to the floor because in the House they had enough votes. They made sure they barely had those votes. They need to make sure that no other Republican went to the other side. They the floor, and because they have the most in the House,
and
didn't they for it in the House.
Didn't they get one Democrat to vote?
Yeah, Fetterman.
Yeah, the one from Maine.
Oh no, but also Fetterman said he was going to vote for it.
But that's the Senate side.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the one from Maine was the one in the House side.
In the House. Thank you.
He was in the House side. But
yeah,
there was one Republican that voted with the Democrats. That's why it was still 215. So it's 217 to 215. And so they brought it to the floor, Lisa, without any input from the Democrats.
Right,
and
because in the House you can just do majority.
Yeah, and with the Senate, they haven't sat down with the Democrats in the Senate to even go through it and say, what do we need to, because the Senate has the right to make changes.
Like, why would you vote for something that you have absolutely no input in?
They're crazy.
None.
Schumer is crazy. Schumer, like I said, I had to take deep breaths. It took me a long time to go to bed. I was like, Wordle was not doing it last night. I was usually doing my Wordle and I go to bed. I was so worked up. I was like, these fools.
Wordle didn't have the right words.
Well, listen. Let's calm Ron down. Let's talk about a couple other things real quick before because we're getting long into. There are two other things that I had on my my topic list that I wanted to kind of touch base on, because this is like an ongoing thing. I think this is unprecedented. Another plane incident in Denver. A plane catches fire after it lands, and I believe they had just gotten to the gate. You see photographs and video of people actually exiting and on the wing of the plane before it actually catches the engine on the opposite side catches fire. What is going on over there at the FAA? Like, we've never had this many incidents within a short span of time ever. I mean, I am almost 50 years old. I've never seen or heard of anything like this in my lifetime.
Every week.
It's ridiculous. There was another plane crash, I believe, last weekend or the weekend before. It's like the number of incidents is exponential. Like, every week you hear some type of plane incident, and you'll say, "Oh, it's all coincidence." No, there's no such thing as coincidence when it's just happening on a weekly basis now. Air safety. Well, air should be the most safest way to travel. It's always been, and now it's not. Like, people are afraid to go on a plane.
Yes, they are. I know I am. I was like, well, I gotta go travel, but I'm like,
listen,
I'm on a plane.
I'm not mad. I am not mad that I'm not traveling right now for work, because it's just like your anxiety kind of goes up a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. When we were going to Vegas, I'm on the plane, was just like, we're just like, God, just let us get there safely and back. That's all. No
I'm
incidents.
always saying, Jesus, take the wheel.
Ugh.
Well, I will find out Thursday, and I'm gonna have faith in my flight.
We're gonna pray for you. We're gonna pray for you and your pilots.
That's right. We're praying for your pilot.
Flying out of National Airport.
Dave Saver says we need to keep a list of the Dems that are showing us who they are. The ones who voted for censure and for this, we need to keep a list and not forget and vote accordingly. Yes, Chris, can't trust. And according Nancy, Lisa said about Nancy. Where did Miss Nancy say about this? We don't know where Nancy is. So that's interesting. Where is Nancy?
Someone mentioned Susan Rice. What did Susan Rice say? That's what I was trying to figure out.
Oh, Susan Rice was the one that she's the one that sent back. She's the one that went through and said that they were crazy for doing this. She said to say no, make sure. She said go for the shutdown. Go for the shutdown. And she's the one that said to also Schumer, grow a spine, get a spine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
her son is he was at Stanford and he's a conservative.
Yes, but she doesn't usually come out so forcefully. But she came out this morning, or I think it was this morning or last night. Chris, it was something else you wanted to share, right?
Yeah, so we kind of touched on it a little. I think Elise brought up a little bit, but so there were 2 federal judges yesterday that ordered the Trump administration to reinstate all of the fired employees because they did not have the right to do it. And then the one judge was highly pissed off that he gave his ruling from the bench and said, I will follow up with in writing, but this ruling stands. Now get them back in those offices now. And then if you did not watch Rachel, I'm constantly promoting Rachel Maddow. If you don't, I don't watch, I listen to the podcast the following morning. So this morning when I'm in the shower, I'm listening to my podcast of her. And she was saying how the Trump administration actually has this new website where for government employees that were fired and they're looking for spaces to work to use this service. So what they do is they punch in where they're located, and it tells them where they can go to find a place to actually sit down and work. And some of they were giving them storage lockers, people's personal homes, coffee shops. Like this website doesn't even work. Yes, this website doesn't even work. So it just shows you the incompetence in this administration. They're doing all these. It is a joke. They're doing all these things and then trying to retrofit it and then not even doing the right thing. And then here's the thing. Elon Musk and all these quote unquote tech bros are supposed to be the ones in charge of all this. Like tech is your sector. You can't even get that right.
No, can't get
it right. Like that's something so simple and you can't get that right. Yeah. So like I said, 2 judges have ordered all of those fired federal employees from all walks of the federal government to their jobs to be given back immediately.
Yeah, because
across the board,
some of them they used job performance, right?
Yes, and that was the point. That was the point.
I'm sure in private industry, that's like any other business. Your job performance is in writing.
Yes.
So everyone has a record, and so you lied.
Well, that's what they used. That's what the judge said. There was one woman. She had a perfect record. She had a high standard. They gave her a great recommendation. Her report was excellent, and then a week later,
for bad performance.
But then the judge also said, "You have caused major destruction on these people because when you fire someone because of their performances, that means they can't get unemployment." So they are double jeopardy.
That part.
Right. That part. And then on top of it, when they go for other jobs, when they ask you, have you ever been fired for poor performance? They can't say no, because that's what technically they were fired for. And that will prevent them from getting another job. So, I'm so glad that the judge pointed that out because he used that as an example in his ruling.
Right, because it was relevant, right? And so the other part,
he was scathing. He was scathing in his notes.
Supreme Court is supposed to be looking at the birthright ship.
Oh yes.
So and every other court has said that's illegal. So I don't even know why they would take it up. They should just say let whatever stand. If it's illegal, it's illegal. So
you know why they want to take it up.
Why would they want to take that up?
Because they don't have to take it. They could just leave it. They can just do a stay and say, hey, you know what? You guys are already ruled on it. We don't.
The lower courts have decided.
They already
the lower courts have ruled.
You used to say you were supposed to talk about the billionaires selling out their stocks.
Oh yeah. So
yes.
So there there is a big movement right now, and it's interesting. They had a conversation. I didn't bring the footage, but Berkshire,
Warren Buffett,
Bezos. A lot of the billionaires are selling off they've been selling off their stock, like unloading their stock. Billions and billions of dollars worth of stock.
Right.
And that's a clear indication.
Is a clear indication of what they're doing. First of all, there was a conversation that was on another program, because this has happened twice that we know, that I can vouch for, because I reading and knowing in history. People don't realize also in 1929, during the Great Recession, before it became the Great Depression, the Great Recession there was some manipulation going on to bring down the markets, to crash the markets, so that the rich people could go in and buy it up.
Yep.
So this has been these cycles you see over the every 50, 40, 25 years. And now it's out of sequence, but it used to be like these waves. You would see that rich people would, because when the market, remember I was telling you on Wall Street, when I used to work at the stock exchange, when you had what's called a 10% correction, that means that 10% of the market has sold off, and it's called it's called a correction.
Right.
Yeah, we're there.
It's not a good thing, but on the NASDAQ, they're already at the 10% or the correction mark.
I saw that.
So what usually happens in the corrections, the market begins to collapse, or it begins to go further, because that they call it a psychological line, that
threshold.
Is the threshold, right? That holds people from selling off. However, in all of these situations, 2008, 1929, 1997, and then we just had one during COVID. In all of these moments, when the market takes a big crash, meaning it dips deep, it goes deep, all of the only people, or the people that are ready for it or prepared, they sell off their stocks high, because remember the whole principle is sell high, and buy low.
Buy low.
Right?
Yep.
That's the main rule of stock market trading, and you sell high, buy low. So when the market tanks and crashes, I meant to also say the 1986 crash. In all of those, rich people came in and bought up all of that stock. And then the market comes back up. And all of those rich people are even more rich than they were before the crash.
So basically what you're saying is we need to see what they're selling off. And as it tanks, we need to buy something cheap. we need to buy
we need to buy.
But the problem is that regular people don't have money to do it.
Regular people
they have all the money. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're struggling just to buy groceries and to pay the rent, whereas now they've stockpiled billions of dollars, whether they can go back and just buy the entire market up.
Because Warren Buffett did explain it. He explained this like a few months ago.
Yes,
what he was doing. So he cashed out so that he'd have actual cash, because most people have to understand
that's the thing.
Cash is king before the market goes down.
He's liquid.
Right.
You're liquid.
They have billions of dollars in assets. They have billions of dollars in cash.
You need
so Warren Buffett's like, I'm cashing out these billions of dollars, so I have billions of dollars in actual cash.
Yep.
And then you go in
so that he has that cash reserve. And to Chris's point, we barely have a cash reserve that we can survive 6 months off of.
Yes, right.
Well, they say the average person has $400 in savings right now
for emergency. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't cover your rent. Like you can have food emergency or something, but
that's barely groceries nowadays.
But he said, I don't know how many months ago, because I read it, and when he was talking about everything, and he said he was cashing out some things.
Yes, he
so
did.
He'd have cash.
He's cashed
There
out
were
a lot.
certain stocks that he was keeping, certain stocks. But but he's cashing out a lot of the other ones. So he has billions of dollars that are money. That's money. Well, in the system of money.
And so you go back into the market and you purchase. JP Morgan, if you do the history of JP Morgan, you will see in the history book, JP Morgan got a lot of his wealth because of the 1929 stock market crash. He went in and then bought up all the other banks. And that's how you get JP Morgan became JP Morgan Chase. Mm-hmm. And also companies like Exxon. Mm-hmm. Exxon became Exxon Mobil. Exxon and Mobil, they had to split up. Or like AT&T, these were big companies. They were all Marbell. They had to break them up. So all of these big companies, they cash out when the market's high, when they feel like something's going to go wrong, or they're all in it. And people are saying that allegedly there's been lots of rich people going in and out of Mar-a-Lago.
Of course.
And there's all kinds of conversations going on, and that they do believe that they're tanking the economy on purpose. Because and we said that here. There's no reason why the market would be going down like this. And why would you out of nowhere institute these tariffs when the economy is doing good? We have the best economy in the world.
Yep.
Right. And that's
so why are you tanking the country?
Because they're gonna, like, as you said, they're gonna get richer on the other side.
They're gonna get richer on the other side. Also,
but if you have a couple of dollars, if you have a couple of dollars,
if you got money, if you got some money, some cash, when it gets to the bottom, because we ain't nowhere near the bottom. When it gets to the bottom, just like when you look at how much market loss was during COVID, how you saw companies like Visa go from $236 a share to we're now $35 a share.
Right.
So think about if you had all that stock at $236 a share, and then you sold out, and now go back into the market, you could get more shares, and you know it's going to come back because the market always comes back.
They're going to bring it back. They're letting it dangle there for as long as they can.
Yeah,
they will bring it back, and it's all this game. Talk about Ponzi schemes.
And G says it's called the fire sale. If you go and take a look at MSNBC, you can check out their financial gurus over there, and they are all salivating about the market going down because people can buy stock and get money. And I mean, I used to be on the side. I sold stocks, what we call selling short. So as the stock is going down, you're anticipating the stock market going down, so you can make big bucks as the money is going down. So you're making money as the market falls, and you're making money again when it comes back up.
You know where I learned that term, Ron?
Yes.
Where I learned that term?
Where?
Die hard or live free. And there was a guy who was a tech guy.
Yes.
That the government had used, who was a contractor, who knew all of the systems and took over all the systems. And the hacker that they got to kind of help them out, told them that it was a fire sale.
Yep, it's a fire sale right now. And so people, while everyone's thinking about all the other stuff that Trump is doing with the tariffs and everything, people don't realize that for rich people, this is a good thing. People are excited. Rich folks are excited. Billions. Let's go with the billionaires and those that have enough. Because, you're not really making a lot of money for the small fries, but the billionaires, they are going to make a killing in this market because a lot of them have cash reserves.
Of course. Warren Buffett, at least it was saying that Warren Buffett's sitting on
$277 billion of cash.
Crazy.
So
crazy.
Here we go.
He saw this coming. He saw this.
He saw it coming. He talked about this. And he talked about this in January or December.
Yeah, I think it was December.
It was December. He started taking money out.
I think most of those billionaires who have people that work for them saw this coming, and that's why they started doing this. I mean, it is just amazing to see what this market is doing. I mean, let's look at Tesla. Tesla at the beginning of the year was at roughly $450 dollars per share. They're down as of today, they're at $247.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost over $200
per share.
Per share.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also
he needs to go down further, but
trillions.
Yeah, go down.
Yeah.
Yes, it should go down.
Trillions. But I know Lisa says my mom lost $500 back in the 80s, and she vowed never to invest in the market again. There's a lot of people like that. I am really worried about her money in the bank because we have no idea what these cats are doing. Yeah, because there's also some rumors. There's been rumors, allegedly, that they want to do away with the FDIC.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I walked past that building yesterday, as a matter of fact, because I was what's yesterday? Thursday? Wednesday, when I was in DC, and I was just like, you know what? I mean, the building looked kind of empty anyway, but I was just like, they're coming after this building next and all their employees. And then that's when people are really going to get worried, because the FDIC insures your money in your bank.
Right.
And don't fuck with people's money. You think people are mad down? They will burn this bitch down.
Yeah, they will lose their mind.
I said it for you, Gwendolyn. Huh?
Have you seen the video of the woman who says, what would happen if we all just decided to take all our money out of these banks?
Well, first of all, they wouldn't give it to you.
They don't even have all your money.
They don't have the money. They don't have money on hand. It's all digital.
Go and ask for all your money. You know, it's like A Wonderful Life, right? It's A Wonderful Life. Just go in there, ask for all your money out of the bank.
You couldn't get it. If you went in and said, I want to, let's say you had $2 million. You went into the bank and said, I want my $2 million right now. They can't give it to you. It's all digital. Yeah. They got to make calls. They got to get it delivered. They got to go through the paper. They got to clear the bills.
And they got to call a manager. If you have $5,000, they got to call a manager to come over and see if it's okay to give you that money.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I cashed it. Let me tell you something. Even depositing a check over a certain amount of money, it starts, all these red flags go off in the bank, and then they want proof of who you are, where this money is coming from, why do you have. I'm like, this is my money.
Right.
This is coming from the federal government. Why are you questioning me about me depositing my money in my bank?
And it happens a lot to people of color. There's many incidents. There was a gentleman that worked in Hollywood, the black guy. He was an actor. He went in to get his money, and they told him he had to prove who he was. He had to get all kinds of documentation, and he was like,
"Listen to me,
my money."
I'm gonna tell you a story. This happened to me last November. I went to deposit a check, and it was more than I would normally deposit. And I intentionally went in to the bank to go to a teller to deposit because I did not want to have any questions of why I was depositing this money. All right. Went to a teller, gave her my 2 pieces of ID. You have to type in your passcode to get into your account at the desk. I did that. And then I'm just like, typically a deposit will be deposited the next credit to your account the next day. About a week goes by. I'm like, wait, where's my money? I call the bank. I'm like, this, and I'm like, I made a deposit, went in, and they're like, oh, well, we've been having some fraud lately, and we want to make sure that the money, it's an actual, a real check. I said, let me tell you something. This is a government check, 1. 2, I went into a branch and deposited it. I had to actually go back to the branch and speak to a branch manager, bring proof of ID, and then what I had to do is bring the action. What I did, thank God I did it. I had the wisdom. So I took a photograph front and back of the check and the stub that was attached to, and I had it saved on my phone. I brought that in, a printout of that, and I actually showed them on my phone, showed them the letter of why I was receiving this money, whatever, and like all these different things. And they said, well, was it deposited? Did you go into a branch? I said, I deposited it in this branch right at that window right there. And they're like, well, I don't understand why they're making this big deal about this. They had to call headquarters. And then they finally was able, I saw my money by the end of the day. But the fact that you have to do that. So can you imagine if people go to the bank and say, I want my money?
Yeah.
What that would do?
Yeah, it only insures up to $100,000. Or yeah, 100,000, right? In each bank. FDIC covers 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000.
Is it 100?
I believe so. Let's see. Hold on.
I thought it was slightly.
Hold
more.
on.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Was it 250? But I think it was 100,000.
I thought it was slightly more than 100,000. I'm not sure. I was thinking about just moving I have a teacher's union account. I was thinking about just moving my money out of the regular bank to the teacher's union account.
Yeah, it's
$250,000 per deposit.
250, so it's 250. Okay, it was 250. So
Right.
to $250,000. So if you have $1 million out there, you want to make sure you put them in quarter here, a quarter there, a quarter there.
Well,
you don't
that's
want
what I
$1
tell
million
people.
in your bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to, that's why you see a lot of people that are wealthy have they have banks offshore, banks inshore, banks over here,
But
banks
see,
over there.
now,
In your house, you better have something in your house. They keep cash in their house too.
Here
That's
lies the
right.
problem, though. Now, if they're getting rid of these agencies, then none of your money will be insured. I mean, what happens then?
Yeah, well, investments in America become less because the reason why people invest or put money in the bank in that way is because of those protections. Once those protections are gone, they put those protections in place so that people could feel confidence in investing in America.
And then, I had this conversation with my daughter. I think it was my daughter. I said, realize money isn't real, right? Money isn't real until you take it out.
That's right.
It's not real until you take it out.
As they say,
Somehow
it's
you
not
spend it.
realized.
When you spend it on a card, it's not real. It's just an electronic transfer, right? It doesn't become real until you take it out of the bank and see it and use it. That's the only time money is actually a real thing.
Touch it.
Right now, it's just you have money in theory.
Digital.
Now they can mess with your theory, right? That's why I told people, go and pull up your Social Security thing so you know what your Social Security balance is now. Because right now, you pay into it.
Yes.
But you don't know what they're going to be able to manipulate as they have gotten deeper and deeper our data systems. With the people who are saying because they've violated FERPA, which is through education and protecting your privacy and education area, they're now saying we're going to file lawsuits because they violated my FERPA rights. Because now I'm going to file a lawsuit and talk about my loan because they put me at risk because they've violated and gotten into a private citizen has gotten into my information.
Yeah, and we don't know who has our information now because Doge, we don't know who those people are. We don't know who those kids are connected to or these young people. We don't know if they're part of Russia. We don't know who they are. One of them could go vote rogue and be sending information overseas. We don't know. But that's what happens. There's one. So we got the two accounts that you want you to focus on. MeidasTouch. Obviously, we use that for this show today. Also, Rachel Maddow. We always mention Rachel, but again, Rachel has been doing her homework and doing some great things. There's also, I wanted to, for all the people preparing for disasters and all the other stuff that's happening in the world, I want to give you this wonderful gentleman called Appalachian. Hold on a second. And you can look at his page on your time and convenience. Let me go. And then we're going to get off of here. Yes. Okay. This is Appalachian Prepper. And he talks about a lot of stuff. He has like 71,000 followers, but you will learn a whole lot of things about what you should be doing in times of crisis. So he goes in 5 fatal mistakes when bugging in, martial law survival, 5 critical steps you must take, the harsh reality for women, 4 terrifying realities after the grid goes down, 4 terrifying choices if civil war breaks out in America. Obviously, this is his point of views, but some of these he's also giving you some survival tips that are also from institutions that actually follow those. So check his page out. I think that would be great. Appalachian Prepper. Okay, so you got 3 focus channels at today's Focus Friday to be able to focus on accounts that encourage, inform, and bless us and inspire us. So, Lise, any last words for today?
No, just stay focused. Call those numbers. Call Schumer. Call the other number 202-220-10 224-3121 and ask for any representative you think any of the senators you want to speak to. But definitely call and put the pressure on those off the Senate today. I think they have to have everything done by the end of the day. So put the pressure on.
Put the pressure on those senators. Chris?
Stay woke. I say it every day. We're on here. Stay woke. Pay attention. Listen. Be informed. And do your research.
And again, make sure you hit those likes. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe and share if you are here. And I noticed that, I mean, literally, it's like the internet is like, feels like it's so quiet. Is there something going on in the internet that we don't know about? Because on Instagram, it is so quiet. And also here it's quiet. So I don't know what's going on in the world right now on the social media front, but there doesn't seem like there's a lot of activity. I'm not sure what they're doing. Again, these guys and girls, you know.
They're all making phone calls. They're all making phone calls. We got a job to do.
They got jobs to do. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I got so excited today, but you know what? We need a little excitement in our lives. But let's stay woke. Let's stay strong. Let's be vigilant, and let's call these numbers and make sure that the Democratic Party stands strong in opposition and get something on the table, because they can easily put on that bill. No, do not touch. We are not passing this bill until you write in this bill, we're not touching Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
And DC.
And DC. That's right. That $1 billion DC thing going on. Yeah. Okay. So yes, they have leverage. Use it, Democrats.
And it's for the Democrat senators, don't give up your power.
Don't give it up.
For anything they need 60 votes on, you got the power.
You got the power. We got the power.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I went there. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Later. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.